I want to start the second sample for my new pattern, the cables and lace scarf, but I need to dye the yarn for it first. So this was my first attempt and I decided that it was just not pink enough, so I started the process again, put the yarn back into the dye pot, and this is what came out. I love it. This color is exactly what I wanted it to be. My inspiration for what I wanted is actually this Simplicity Floribunda rose in my garden, and I'm very happy with the end result. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Mariette, the person behind Die Boervrou Designs. I design knitting and crochet patterns so that I am able to share my love for these crafts with you. I will add my online shop and Ravelry store links in the description box below this video, where you will be able to find all of the patterns that I have published so far. I love to share these little glimpses of my daily life, as well as all of the projects that I'm currently working on. I hope that this video will inspire you and bring you some calm energy. I am so happy to be casting on this gorgeous new yarn that I dyed, and I cannot wait to see how this second size is going to look when it is all knit up. And it is time for the first sample to get into the bath. While I'm sitting here working on the pink sample, I'm thinking about the next project that I want to cast on. I know what I want to do, but the main color of my next project is still to be determined. I have decided that this sock project's main color must be this beautiful butter yellow yarn that I dyed. It looks so sunny and happy, and that is exactly the mood that I'm going for. let's do a little catch up with all of my projects. This is episode 89, and today I am wearing my first ranunculus that I made. It was made with Moya cotton, 100% cotton double knit yarn in the colorway Topaz, and I believe a 5mm needle, if I remember correctly. The neckline was a bit big, but I added some elastic thread to it, and since then it's been great. So I've been wearing it for quite a while. I'm not sure when I finished this one, but if I remember I will put it on screen, and it is looking beautiful. I love wearing it. I really do wear it a lot. I think if I remember correctly, I wore it in the previous episode as well. So the first finished object that I have to show you is my pair of socks. Here they are. Very pretty. So this pair of socks was knit cuff down using my own pattern that I will be releasing somewhere in the near future. This was knit with 2.25mm needles, and in the previous episode the one sock was finished and the other one was ready for the toe, but the sock's feet were too long because I didn't measure them with my sock ruler, and then I ripped back a little bit, did the toe on the sock that was not finished, and then when it fit I just ripped back the toe of the other sock and redid that. So now they are fitting perfectly, and I'm very happy to have these finished. So this yarn is the main color. This main color is this Regia design line by Arnie and Carlos. That is number or information. The contrast color is a Regia 4-ply yarn that I got from Arthur Bales, and I have lost the label, so I have no idea what this colorway number is, but it doesn't matter, it works perfectly in this pair of socks. Very happy with this pair of socks that is finished. Then in the previous episode this little scarf was finished but not yet washed and blocked. That I have done in the meantime, and I have also finished the second sample of this pattern, and I have published the pattern as well. So this is the first size of the cables and lace scarf design. This is what it looks like. It's gonna be blown out, the color is gonna be blown out quite a bit, but I'm just gonna show you the detail up close. So this yarn was dyed by me. I call it Dirty Apricot. I don't think I will ever be able to do it again, because I just thrown the dye in the pot without measuring. So this is the first sample. It is 90 centimeters long, and it's just a little short small scarf, and one of these days it will be cold enough to be able to wear them. So this is the first one. And then I don't think I started the second one yet. I think I still had to dye the yarn. So I wanted to make a pink sample, not as bright as my Serenity Scarf, but I made this pink one. I think it's getting blown out a little bit. Hopefully that is a more accurate color. So this is the second size, which is wider and longer than the first sample. And as you'll be able to see, the patterning is a little bit different for the two scarves. So this one has 3 little lace panels, where this one only has 1. So yes, the second size of the cables and lace scarf. Suddenly can't tie something looking in a mirror. Right, so that is the second size of the cables and lace scarf. So both of these scarves are made with 3.5mm needles and 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon sock yarns. It has 366 meters on 100 grams. As I said, I dyed both of them myself with acid dyes, and then I will have to put the yarn amounts on the screen because I cannot remember, and I have not really made any notes for this podcast episode, so we will see how that goes. But I will put the yarn usage for size 1 here on the screen, and also for size 2. So as I said, this pattern is already out and available in my Ravelry and online shop. I will link all of those details down below this video for you. So yes, I'm very happy with this scarf design. I love the scarf. I'm very sad that it's still too warm to wear them. I think this year and this winter I'm going to get a lot of wear out of my scarves. I've made quite a few scarves the past few months. I made these 2, and I do have 2 Serenity scarves as well, and then all of my cowls. So this year I will not be cold around my neck. I love how this looks. Every time I put it on, I'm like, I love this pink. There we go. So that is my 2 cables and lace scarves. Right. So that is everything that I finished since the last time I recorded. My first work in progress that I would like to share with you is a new project. You would have seen it in the vlog footage before this podcast that I started a pair of socks. It is a new design, and I am using the most beautiful butter yellow yarn that I dyed. I knew I wanted to make this pair of socks. I knew how I wanted to make it, but I was lingering on the main color because I could not decide what I wanted exactly for a main color. I was going to use the same, more or less the same yarns that I used for my Tranquility cowl, which is very handily laying down here. So I knew I was going to use the same colors that I used in this cowl, but I did not want to use the same main color, which is this beautiful beige color. And I was going back and forth to pink or maybe purple, and then I decided, no, I'm gonna go with this butter yellow color that I dyed. It is so sunny and bright and happy, and I'm very happy that I went with this color. So this is the yellow. I don't know, I think it's blown out quite a bit. Hopefully that's better. So this is the sock. I only brought one of the socks. I really like to knit my socks in tandem, because then whatever happened in my life happens at the same time on both socks, because I have had it happen to me before that the one sock is knitted tighter than the other, and then it is smaller in circumference and shorter sometimes, or sometimes quite bigger in circumference than the previous one. So I really like to knit my socks in tandem. My other sock actually already has a heel in it, but this is one of these socks, and this is what it will be looking like. So it is nice and stripy. So as you can see, this one I am knitting toe up, and I'm using my 2.25 9-inch circulars for this sock. And this pink, which is a different pink that I dyed from the same dye actually than the cables and lace, you can see it's a little bit darker. So this is going to be the heel for this sock. Right, very happy about those. All of the yarns is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and all of it has 366 meters on 100 grams as far as I know. And yes, very happy with a pair of socks. I am really looking forward to getting it done and getting the pattern ready, so that'll also come sometime in the future. Right, so that is my new work in progress. I think I do have one more new project that you haven't seen in a podcast before, but I think I will share the two blankets quickly first. I am making a chunky brioche memories blanket with acrylic yarns that I'm holding 2 strands together for and knitting it on a 5mm needle. Let me just make sure. Yes, US 8 5mm needle. And in the previous episode I was busy with this light apricot square. I think I just picked up the I-cord stitches. I actually knit the complete square, and when I got to the end I had too many stitches on the one side, so I don't know what I did there, so I had to rip back and do it again. But I finished this square, so I was battling to do the last square of the bottom row, because these squares have a built-in I-cord. So you have the I-cord on the side, and doing the next square I will have an I-cord on the side. But for the last square I have to do the I-cord on the other side as well. And I had quite a struggle with this one. I tried to do it a few times, I think last year when I started this blanket, and I just could not get my head wrapped around it. So I decided to try again. I knew I wanted this orange square to be the last one in this row, because I would like to do this blanket in rows, and I finally got it right. So that is the last square on this row, and it has its little I-cord on the side, and it is looking great. So this is what I have so far. I don't know how many squares is this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 squares. So yes, this is progressing now at least, and it's just gonna be a little throw blanket that is big enough for one person to lay under. As I said, I'm using acrylic yarns for this project. I still have a lot in the cupboard, and I just have this little basket of yarns where I just pull from the center and from the outside. I'm very happy that I got the bottom corner square done, because I'm also making a fingering weight sock yarn version with all of my leftover sock yarns. Actually, I started this one first, and it has grown quite a bit since I spoke to you last, because I've also decided to square off this blanket, I would say, by finishing the bottom row and then working it up, and then work in rows until I am happy with the length. That is one of the reasons why I had to figure out how to do the bottom corner, because that is up next in this blanket. So I have added this little square from this yarn. So I've added this square, and then I have added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more squares. So 2, 4, 6, 8. So 9 in total to the blanket since you saw it last. So I'm gonna try and show it. It might get blown out when my face is hidden, but let's see how I do. It stretches out quite a bit where there's not much I-cord keeping it together. Since the previous episode, I have added the square for the socks yarn, and then I added this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares. So a total of 9 squares since I saw you last, and then I'm going to add the corner square on this row next. So it's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16 squares. Is that right? Doesn't feel right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Right. Okay, so the blanket will be 16 squares wide. I also decided to make this blanket in a single person, for a single person. I can always make another one. And then I also decided, because I am working over and weaving in my ends as I go, and I have all of these little tails at the back, I've decided that the moment I have basically squared off the blanket so that I can start working in rows, I'm going to give it a wash and a block, and then snip off all of the ends, because these little pieces, I don't know, it makes me feel stressed. I know it's worked in, it just looks untidy, and I don't like it anymore. So I'm going to do that. As soon as it's squared off here, I'm gonna wash and block it before I continue. So yes, that is the blanket. Very happy with how that looks. I don't have many more little pieces that is not added into the blanket. I only have this little baggie with little bits and pieces. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. So I will work all of this still in. And for this sock yarn blanket, I'm using a, I think 3.5 millimeter needle. Yes, 3.5 US 4 needle. So that is my Brioche Memories blanket. It got a lot of love and I am very excited to start squaring it off so that I can work in rows. I just started to think that it will be easier to work in rows because then I can actually take progress pictures of the blanket after every row was done so that I can put it in my journal, and I think it will be a little bit easier for me mentally to keep track of. Anyway, right, I still have one project that I would like to share with you. My last work in progress is a project that I'm making as part of my Equinox make-along that I'm currently hosting on Instagram. We started on the 20th of March until the 20th of April. So there is still a little bit of time. There's no real strict rules. We just have a little Instagram group where we chat and share progress pictures. So if you still want to join, you are more than welcome. Just send me your Instagram handle and I will add you to the group. It's not a very big group, so it's not really overwhelming. It is just a small little group of friends cheering each other on to make or finish a neck accessory. So whips are more than welcome, and I will put the little photos on here so that you can see what the group is all about. But anyway, so I started another Serenity Scarf for myself. So this is my yarn. It is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon blend sock yarn. This specific one is part of a Naughty Habit Kaiso combo that I got as a birthday gift in 2024. I think so. This is the leftover from my Fairy Lily Cowl size 1 that I made. So this is my little Serenity Scarf. Oh, I love these colors. My goodness, they are so pretty. I can just see myself wearing this scarf. I think this scarf will look fantastic with my purple Fairy Lily sweater and a denim jacket. I think that will go perfectly with this yarn. But anyway, so I'm actually hacking my own pattern a little bit because the Serenity Scarf has two sizes in it. The one is a little bit wider than the other one, but they are both the same length of 140 centimeters. So I am making a short one because I really like the little short cables and lace scarf. So I thought I want a little short Serenity scarf. So yes, very excited about that one. I think I am near to the point where I need to start making the decreases. So I'm very excited about this little Serenity scarf of mine. And then this is a beautiful little marker that I got as a gift in the yarn swap that I did with my friend Liani from Independence Yarn Crafts, where all of these little yarns come from. So yes, my little Serenity scarf is growing a lot, and I really love this pattern a lot. Then I also want to mention that Juanita from Yuan Knits on Instagram is hosting a workshop for this pattern on the 11th of April 2026 at the Yarn Room. I will link all of the details in the description box below this video if you want to go and have this workshop. I can highly recommend Juanita's workshop. I have taken 2 of them myself, and she's really a wonderful teacher and a thorough knitter. So if you are interested in going for a hands-on workshop to make your own Serenity Scarf, I highly recommend this class. Alright, that is it for my current projects. I still have plans that I have not started yet for new projects. I am going to cast on a 1898 hat next. The yarn is already on my table and I'm thinking of making a stripy version. Maybe not the brim, but the head portion of the hat might be striped. I have not completely decided yet, but all of the yarns is laying on my table and I want to make one for a gift. And then I am going to make a size 1 Tranquility cowl next for a gift as well. So I still have to dye up the main color yarn for it, and then I can start doing that. And maybe I can start doing that as part of the Equinox make along. That'll be fun. Yes, I should do that. I should go dye this yarn. That is it for all of the projects that I'm working on currently. Let me know in the comments down below what projects you are working on. I love chatting with you about your projects. Thank you so much for spending some time with me watching this video. All of the projects and all of the things that I spoke about will be linked in the description box below this video. I hope that you are doing well wherever you are in the world. And remember to make time for the real treasures in life. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you soon in the next video. Bye!